Okay, you know, kind of like if you're gonna buy an inversion table and you want the best in the world, you buy a teeter. If you're gonna buy a shredder and you want the best in the world, you're going to buy Embassy. You know, much like Roger and Andrew Lessman, every single time we've done an Embassy shredder at any price with any features, they've all gone on to be customer picks. And Bill, Doug, and I picked you.
Hey, I'm glad to show it off.
But you know what's so cool? This actually has more sheet capacity than the one that I own.
Right.
And many of you know the story. I have had my identity stolen, as many show hosts here at HSN have. And the thing is, I was burning through shredders because no other shredder in the world functions like Embassy. In fact, Allison, if it's cool, I'd love to show how few of these we actually have. There are 800 and 800 only. That is for this show and this show only, for this hour only. It's free shipping. It's less than $30 on your credit card. And Allison, real quickly on color choices. Okay, 670 of the black. And a little over 130, you know, 135 on that white. The thing is, Bill, if you are going to buy a shredder, make it an Embassy. You should.
That's just it. Embassy knows what we want. They know they need to keep up with demand. They know we want to put it on casters so we can roll it around. They know we want to have a pull-out bin. I pulled out the bin because I want you to see what it looks like in action. But what you get is over a 4-gallon bin that collects all those fine little particles. Why is that important? This shred is different than what you expect. When you think of shredding, you think of that strip shred from the 70s. Not something this fine, this hard to piece together. Because with identity theft out there, guess what?
Look at the difference.
Huge difference. I mean, that is one piece of strip shred versus one piece of microcut, smaller than the tip of a dime. And the thing is, you're gonna see the payoff with the shred, which is awesome. But as you were saying, it's cathartic. It feels good. Because at the end of the day, our homes are cluttered with important documents, medical records, insurance forms. I mean, you name it. The Federal Trade Commission, they say themselves that we have to shred our documents.
Yes, they do.
I mean, we pulled this directly from their webpage. There's many steps we can take to reduce our risk of being an identity theft victim. For example, we need to closely guard our social security number and but then we also have to shred credit applications and other sensitive documents.
Well, quite frankly,
other is different for every home.
You should be shredding everything. I mean, you really should. And a lot of people don't realize this. Once your trash leaves your home, like when you put it out on that curb, guess what? They can legally go through that. And it's so funny, I've been on the air, I think her name was Phyllis. She lived here in Florida, she was in her 70s, and she was so cute. She said somebody actually did that. She had been watching a show with us, you know, prior to that. And she said, you know what, I almost didn't believe you guys. I mean, she was like, I'm in my 70s, why would anybody want my trash? But people make a living. It's a lot easier for them to get your identity and your money than it is for them to go out and make, you know, money for themselves.
The thing is, we make it easy when we give them shred like this, and that's why a lot of our homes have that, and we want to upgrade and realize it goes through not 6 or 8, but 14 pages, staples, credit cards, the big shiny disc at the end of the day. But you're not giving them that easy technology to put together. Even those old photos you just want to get rid of, it feels good because we hold on to it, but when you can get rid of it, you can't just throw away certain pieces of information.
It's better for you, it's better for Mother Earth, it's better for your pocketbook. How many of us out there, you know, you take a sheet of paper and you do this, right? You're not protecting anybody. Or if you're being really diligent, you're taking the scissors, right? You're not helping anybody.
It's funny what you just did by tearing in half. I used to do that. And I was like, oh, it's not gonna happen to me. And, But then what happens is you take all the trash from the bathroom, the home office, the kitchen, and you put it in that one can. I mean, it's all right there.
It is.
But the thing is, whether it's tax documents, whether it's other personal information, whether it's, you know, just kids' identity and information, it happens. Because you see the huge list of stuff right there, and that's just icing on the cake. Think of boarding passes for airplanes. Think of hotel room keys with that bar on the back.
Exactly, because they're all coded. I mean, even prescription labels on your pill bottles. I mean, they can get all of that information. Even if it's just your insurance company sending you a document, oh, we paid this claim, they can get all of that information.
And the junk mail that comes pre-filled out, the convenience checks. This is a huge customer pick, because at the end of the day, like that huge envelope, I just shredded it and got rid of it. Why do people like it? It's an evolution, sure. Because we walk away, a lot of us have a shredder because we want it and we need it. But this technology, it's from the 70s. This one piece of paper right here, if you could enclose, look at that. That is someone's identity. That is a little bit of information that goes a long way. So a lot of us go out there and we pick up a shredder. Crosscut, you see how much smaller that is. But guess what? For $130, you might find a crosscutter out there. But for the same price, you might as well get a Microcut. It is so much finer, so much smaller, so much harder for them to piece together. Guess what? With it being that much harder for them to piece together, it's not gonna happen to you. And guess what? The statistic out there, it used to be 1 in 10 of us were victims of identity theft. Now it's 1 in 7. It's going up. I mean, there's 7 people in the studio right now. I can name them by name. I don't have their identities, but if you have dated technology, it can happen to you. And look at how we've evolved from strip shred to crosscut down to Microcut. So you're getting the latest, that finest, smallest little shred that's out there. But also what I want to remind you, look what you're saving on the shredder alone, but then we're also giving you the shredder, which I was telling Shannon earlier, it's like that Goldilocks size because it's not too big, it's not too small, it's just right. But then 4 full titles to protect your identity on the computer. A way to back up your information. This one, I love it, internet privacy, so you can browse to your heart's content. And then dock lock, a way to manage all those username and passwords.
You were telling me your mom loves that.
You remember, I love that. It's a personal favorite right there.
I actually want to get that for that.
And the thing is, this is why it's over $150 savings tonight because it is a this day only.
So basically it's a half off sale. And you do have to understand, I'll show you that quantity left again real quickly. 700 of you and 700 only can get this. You know, it's kind of like car insurance. Don't let it be that coulda, woulda, shoulda. Nobody, you know what people say, the minute they get in an accident, it's like, well, I wish I would have upgraded my car insurance. Don't let somebody, you know, nick your identity without at least doing that first frontal assault. This is so easy. There's really no excuse for it. And in a lot of ways, sometimes in many cases, I don't do it to protect my identity. It just feels good. Because, you know, it's hard to lose the weight. It's hard to eat healthy. You know, it's hard to say, stop at 1 Grey Goose. This is easy. So you think to yourself, you know, I can do this. And there is something about that emotional purge when you see that clutter, you know, being removed from your life.
Well, it's just like when you go to the gym and you start seeing the results in the gym. When you see the results on your desktop, on the kitchen island, when all that stuff gets shredded and properly disposed of, it does feel good. And that's just it. You think it's not gonna happen to you, but let's be real. We get lazy, we throw away this one piece of paper and look what happens. I throw it away. How much space did that one piece take out? I mean, that one piece takes up so much space. How many have we destroyed? And the thing is, we're talking about identity theft. Sure, there are dumpster divers out there. And if you have, like right there, what we're showing you is look at how the strip shred, it's overflowing. Crosscut, it's about half that. Microcut, it's a fraction of that. So it fills up the bin less. But think about it this way. Have you ever had that windy night, your garbage can even gets knocked over? And then what happens? All of a sudden, down in the neighbor's yard, it's your tax information, it's your paycheck stub, your prescription information. It's true. It's not even just about personal identity protection. It's about privacy. So take all that stuff, shred it. It feels great because you're doing it properly. And that's why we got this for my mother, because actually for 3.5 years, sitting in her garage were these 3 boxes. She knew she couldn't get rid of them, but they were grandma's estate papers. And so she's like, I gotta find the right place to deposit them. I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna get you an embassy shredder. It does what it's supposed to do. Just keep feeding the beast, and you get this results on the other side.
80 of these remain. It's interesting because there's actually, it's a recycling place close to HSN. They're doing a shred event this weekend. And what's sad, sometimes people take things to those shred events or a professional shredder, and there's no guarantee that your information still stays safe, meaning they may or may not be shredding the information to this kind of small minutia, you know, microcut. Here's one of the other reasons you should try Embassy. I burned out so many shredders before I got my Embassy because it wouldn't go through multiple layers of paper. It wouldn't go through staples. It wouldn't go through credit cards. It wouldn't go through CDs. Or you'd hear this, you know, and then you'd see this, you almost smell like smoke. I always show this, and I'll do this real quickly, because, by the way, the free shipping is a big deal. When you get this at home, you're gonna go, it's beefy, beefy, beefy. I mean, this is built to last.
It's about 22 pounds. You bring it
I'm serious. You actually have to work it, because it's weighty. That's metal, guys. I mean, that's not a bunch of plastic gears whirring around. And that's why these are built to last. There's a reason that Embassy is #1 when it comes to shredders. And it's a big thing to say that, in fact, I don't know, I guess Andrew Lessman vitamins are the only thing that come to mind. I don't know of any other product line where we can say every single shredder that we've done from Embassy, every single one has gone on to be a customer pick.
And that's just it. We have offered an 8-sheet and a 10-sheet sheet and a 12. This is 14 sheets. So it keeps up with the demand of what comes in the mail and off the printer. How many documents did you print off the printer during tax season that have personal information, account numbers? You can't shred them with dated technology. And if you're going to spend the money, why get this technology when you can get something so fine? And a lot of you are like, really, do they go to that effort? Sure they do, because they want to shop with your credit to get the big screen TV or that next Today special. This is that strip shred from the 70s pieced together. Cross-cut, they've even pieced that together. What you have tonight is micro-cut technology, so fine, so smaller than the tip of a dime. It fell off.
They're not getting that. You know, one of the stories that you tell, Bill, that I love, which I was talking about that shredding event, is that parade in New York City. That's why I say there's no guarantee, even if you take your documents to a professional shredding place.
That was a police department.
Right.
They took their shred, all their documents of files to a professional shredding place. You know, it's the parade, it's raining down confetti, and all of a sudden, a piece of strip shred landed on some confetti, strip shred, and it had someone's license plate number and information on it. You don't want to put it out there. Do it yourself.
You just don't want to risk it. And you know, this is not, these presentations aren't about scare tactics or, you know, frightening. We live in the real world. I mean, you watch the news reports, you see the statistics.
It's happened to how many of the hosts?
Well, actually, do you know what? I've lost count now because I think Marlo and I were the first ones. And now it's Helen. I know there's, you know, we've got at least 2 or 3 other girls.
It happened to me even. I was a sophomore in high school. I went, or in college. I went to get my financial aid documents for sophomore year. I'm like, oh, you don't qualify this year. I'm like, excuse me? And then I had to go through the process of proving that I qualified for financial aid. And that's just it. A lot of us, we don't keep up with our credit scores and, you know, all that stuff until we try to get that great financing on the car, the, you know, the TV or the house. And like, oh, I don't qualify for 4%? No, because you have that ding, so now you're at 8%, that adds up. And a lot of us think, you know, oh, I have a ding, I just have to call the credit card company or the 3 credit bureaus. No, you have to go to the Federal Trade Commission, you have to print out this 68-page document and then file it and babysit it. And not just babysit it for, you know,
it's work.
One office hour or one phone call. It is work.
And it's interesting, too, because I know Marlo had this experience, and I did as well, where even, this is years now, you still are battling something that happened, you know.
Well, you're on guard.
Years ago.
It's like when you get in that car accident, and then all of a sudden you're nervous about driving a little bit.
Exactly.
If you do get a little skittish in terms of, I'm not signing up for any more credit cards, I'm not going to take those old documents and just throw them away because it happened to me. And remember, it happens to 1 in 7 of us. Not 1 in a million, not 1 in 500,000. And the thing is, we are proud of the customer pick aspect because we know you're smart shoppers out there. And we know we like to brag about fashion and, you know, jewelry and all that stuff. People are bragging about a piece of office equipment that does what it's supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, when you take something this strong, you know, lives in our credit cards and our wallets, and then we try to destroy them, we try to bend them, we try to cut them in half. Look at Microcut right here. Look at how many small pieces that is.
Nobody's getting that.
You can't. I take that away. Can you even tell if it's Visa, MasterCard, Shannon's card, my card?
Exactly.
No. And that feels good.
But to Bill's point, I mean, people are more apt to leave a review if they don't like something, number one. But number two, who gets excited about a shredder? I mean, when is a shredder sexy? I mean, people get excited. People get passionate about their embassy shredders. I know I do. So the thing is, we are doing this price for this hour. In fact, we've got a brand new Garmin Today's Special that I know you're going to want. That's coming up in a little quick preview at the end of this hour. But if you want this price and if you want that flex pay, absolutely you should call this. When you call and get this, when you see the weight of this, that's why that free shipping is a big deal. It's funny because that's why I lift that up now every time I do one of these, because when I got my embassy shredder, I couldn't believe how heavy the box was.
And that's the performance. And that's another reason why we put it on casters. So, you know, yes, we like to wheel it underneath the desk so it's out of sight, but when we want it, we can wheel it around. And remember, you have a pull-out bin that sits in front of it, so all the collection is right there. Large peekaboo window, so you see when it gets full, and when it does, you just take that out, which is great. But what you're gonna notice, it goes through 14 pages, credit cards, goes through the big shiny discs, no problem. The junk mail, don't even have to open it up, let it get shredded and know that it's gone and destroyed. And we're talking about our identity. Well, let's be real. Sometimes it's, oh, I've been holding on to these photos. I don't want this clutter around anymore. Oh, that's a cute picture of actually of you. Maybe we'll keep that one. But like, let's get rid of these. We don't want that out there because it gets destroyed properly.
But you know what? Most of us are digitizing our images anyway, which, by the way, Lori Leland is coming up with something that allows you to take, you know, even old cassettes or LPs or VCR tapes and digitize them. So what are we going to do with all of those originals? None of us really wants to have clutter, but I think we all get nervous about just throwing it away, and this is the ultimate solution.
It does get addicting when you start to see that space come back,
right.
or maybe you got that box out of the closet and you shredded everything. You're like, ooh, now I have more space in the closet or in the garage. And they're like, what else can we get rid of?
I know.
And all of a sudden,
you feel good.
You do, and that's
Feels
really
good.
where it starts to make everything feel good. Where the home office comes back, all that stuff in the identity, like you've been holding on to these documents to properly get rid of them. You know what I used to do? I used to take a lot of my shredding to the office.
Yeah.
But then I was kind of a little nervous in terms of, you know, it's in my briefcase and it's gonna fall out of my briefcase.
Yeah.
Because a little bit of information goes so far.
It
they
really
get the last
does.
4 digits, they make the 1-800 call and they pretend to be you.
Please.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I know that clock is getting ready to expire. I should let you know we have almost as many people calling as we do have quantities remaining. We have 70 of the white. If you want the white, you can't make a bad decision here. The only bad decision you can make is by not selecting it. And I promise you, these presentations are not about scaring you as much as being realistic. You're far more likely to have your identity stolen than not in this day and age in which we live, because everything is done digitally. But the big thing you need to be aware of, it's a lot easier for someone to steal their identity by going through your trash than it is to even try to hack into your account. So remember, if it's something as easy, as cathartic, and frankly, it's fun. It really is. I know it sounds crazy, but you're gonna, mark my words, you're gonna look for things to shred around your house. You really are.
Talk about fun though. What did I use to send my mom her Easter package?
Oh,
I use this as packing material. But as you're talking, our identity's out there. Another way, you're protected virtually, but also we give you 4 full software titles, which makes it $150 savings. Auto-safe essentials, internet privacy, Department of Defense standards, by the way.
I know.
My mom's personal favorite, Dock Lock and Splash ID. You're gonna love this configuration, but you're more gonna appreciate the security you're getting.
You really will. I'm gonna tell Aaron Berger that you were gonna shred us.
Never. Never. I shredded Brett's picture.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Well, that's okay.
Okay.
I'm just kidding, Brett. All right, $25 and change in your credit card. And remember, that offer is only good now. Billy, you have a little time off. Are you back tomorrow?
Yeah, no,
okay.
no.
Oh, good for you.
I'm off for a week. Goodbye.
Sunday, fun day.
Yeah.
Sunday.